this is our new VW Transporter T5 that we've got to convert into a camper van. We picked it up for $3,000, which didn't seem too bad of a deal, considering it had its MOT 5 days prior to us actually buying it. But the only issue is we've had to spend a fair bit of money on it since, which makes me feel like the MOT wasn't quite legit, to be honest. There's been some major issues with it that it definitely wouldn't have passed MOT if they was present at the time. So one of the issues we had with the front was the windscreen had a big crack going, if I can get it, so from like here all the way along the front, but on the MOT it was just an advisory because it wasn't in the view of the driver. So what we did when we got the insurance, we actually got it done then because it was cheaper, so that was £100 just for the windscreen, but at least it's a nice new one now that's clean and no scratches or anything on it, which is good. On the front, when we were steering it, there was a knocking noise, and I looked at everything. I had a look underneath. When we put it in for full service after we got it, they couldn't find anything to start off with, so I was hoping it wasn't the steering rack, which luckily it wasn't. But on the top of the struts here, you have bearings on the top, and one of them had gone. I think it was the passenger side that had gone, and that was what was causing the noise. But they said the other side was just as bad, but it hadn't quite gone yet, so we ended up having both of them fixed, which just stopped the noise, which is good. So that's sorted now. So on the van is just standard Steelies, but as you can see, they're in a bit bad condition. So what I plan on doing with these is just make it look a bit better. Quickly sand them down and give them a quick lick of spray, just to make them look a bit nicer and obviously stop the rusting as much as well. But yeah, it mainly just makes the van look a bit better and actually not look like a work van anymore. So on the back here, we plan on putting a window in here, a sliding open window, because it's got no windows in the van, which was, when we first was looking to buy one, we wanted one in, but a lot of them came on the door side, and I'd rather have it this side because we plan on building the kitchen here, so it's nice to have a window. Obviously, so when you're cooking, you can open the window, and if you get up in the morning, you can see what the weather's like outside without looking out the front windows. The issues with the back, when we got it, was I think it was this side. By the look of it, these have had new new pads in on the back, and on the other side, it needed a new disc. So there was another two issues that wasn't on the MOT certificate, and considering it's 5 days, I'd be very surprised that they'd both gone. And on the other side of the van, which is the major one really, which is surprised that it actually passed. I'd be very surprised if it went since. Is it the suspension spring on this side had actually snapped, so that would have been straight MOT failure, but that's sorted now. This little thing here is missing. We were told you can get them for about 12 quid off eBay, so that'd be good. But what happened was, when it was a work van before, someone had the door open, and a car clipped it and broke this here, and then obviously it bent round and bent this whole panel. So the guy who had it before has replaced this panel, and he had it colour coded matched, sprayed. But as you can see, just because this is older paint and this is newer paint, this is actually a lot lighter white than this is, but it isn't too bad. But again, if we're wrapping it, doesn't matter. So another one of the issues was the reversing lights weren't working, and at first I thought it was bulbs, and I didn't actually check it. So I actually went and bought bulbs, which was only £8. Actually, it wasn't £8 because I got my Halfords discount card, which was good. So there was a couple of quid. Turns out it wasn't the bulbs were perfectly fine. So the next stop was the fuses. Couldn't find the fuses, so I ended up checking all the fuses. But as I was doing that, I told Tabitha to have the ignition on when we was testing the lights, and I forgot to tell her to turn it off, which then made the airbag light come on, wasn't it? The airbag light came on. So when I rang up to get that sorted, they was going to charge me £40, and it just needed error code raising. There was not an actual issue with it, but they were still going to charge me £40. So I rang around, and luckily I found a decent garage that only did it for £5, which was good because it was literally just plug in, clear, done. But yes, we had to have a new switch put in on for the reversing lights, which comes from the actual gearbox. And I didn't fancy doing that myself, so then they only charged £20 to do that. So that was good. That's sorted now. The reversing lights are done. So I think that's everything mechanically now on the van is sound, which is, so now we're ready to actually start building the inside, which you can see we've already started. So yeah, now work begins. So this is the inside of the van, which isn't in too bad condition. It's not the greatest, but you can easily sort this out. Ignore the camera gear on the seats. So we've got here is the seats wrecked here, so we will end up probably fitting a new seat, But for the time being, we're just going to chuck some covers on the seats just to make it look better and to stop wrecking them even more. In the door here, there's like a burn. I've no idea how that's happened. But it's nothing major. It's just a bit of cosmetics. Yeah, these apparently regularly come off from what I've seen. But the trick I seen on a YouTube video was just cable ties. So we've got the cover for this one, but I need to go to the scrapyard to try and find the cover for the other door because that's missing one as well. But what I'm going to do is just put some super glue on that and then cable ties, and that should be alright. But apart from that, the inside of the van is actually pretty good. There's nothing really major wrong with the inside of the van. There's a few bit wear and tear and stuff like that, but after we've done the back of the van, after we've done back there and that's all sorted, we'll turn our attention to this side and actually like spend a bit of money and time making it look nicer and more comfortable and stuff like that. Another issue we had was with the stereo unit was locked, and apparently that's a safety feature of VWs. Not really that safety, I don't think, but the van battery must have gone flat, and then if it goes flat, it acts as if it's been disconnected, which the safety kicks on here, and you have to put a code in. We didn't have the code for the van, for the stereo, sorry. So I rang VW up because apparently that's the only place you can get it from, and I had to take it down there, which the customer service was terrible. So I'll never go back there again. And the guy came out to get a new code, and he was out there for a good 20 minutes, half hour, something like that.
Yeah, something like that.
And he comes back in and he had the code, which was good, but he said he couldn't actually put the code in and okay it because it weren't working. And he was saying about he needed the number 4 button to work to okay it. But when I looked in the manual beforehand, this is before I actually contacted VW, you press this button here. This is the button you press to okay it. So he's given me the code and actually didn't charge us anything because it was supposed to cost us £15, but he didn't charge us anything for it. And I've gone straight back out into the car park, put the code in myself, holded this button in, and voila, worked. So I saved myself 15 quid there. But for a guy who actually works at VW, I think that's a bit poor, to be honest. He should know that that's it, or at least there should be some way of him finding out easily that that is the button you press to okay it, not number 4. But at least that's sorted and saved us money, which is a bonus. So that's good. Now we can actually listen to music when I'm driving, rather than just listen to the sound of the engine or the sound of Tabitha's voice.
Oi. Another issue that we've had with the van is this. This is where the fuel cap is. But when we actually drive, it actually comes open. So at the minute, we've just put some sellotape on it. We just need to find a way to actually fix it so it doesn't keep coming over. I don't know if it's to do with the screws in there, or if we're just going to have to find somewhere else another way to fix it.
So the wood we can reuse, which is a lifesaver. It means we haven't got to cut around all of them to do out. We ain't got to draw around them all and cut them all out for fresh wood. The only fresh wood we've got to use is the floor, because it's been a work van. It's had petrol and diesel and stuff in it and other fluids, and it's kind of just got a bit smelly and horrible.
See a bit of smell on
Yeah. So on the plastic down there is some still stains from the actual fluid that was on it. But luckily, most of the wood is reusable. And what we're going to put behind it is sheep wool insulation. And we'll talk about this in another video in more detail and stuff. But yeah, so the plan is to, now it's all out, is to get the window cut in and then do the insulation and then put all the wood back. So at least now, we actually got a lot more done last night than we thought we was going to. We only thought we'd maybe be able to wash the van because how dark it was and stuff, but we ended up working until like 10:30 at night, was it?
Yeah, like 10:30.
Yeah, because we had a drill, a power drill, it was easy to get it all out. The only issue was with the floor. Some of the screws were rounded just because they'd been there for a long time, and yeah, they just weren't very good. So I had to rip some of the flooring up over the screws, the ones that wouldn't come out, and then get a pair of pliers, or mole grips rather, was easier, and actually unscrew them by hand, which actually none of them actually caused an issue. So yeah, I was hoping none of them would, because I didn't really want to cut any of them and stuff like that. But yeah, they all came out nice and easy, which is good. So when we actually brought the van down here yesterday, it was pitch black, but luckily they got massive lights out front. So we ended up cleaning the outside of the van, because on top it was just like green and horrible, and definitely needed to clean. So that was the biggest effort.
It's still not perfect, but
no, it's good enough. Yeah, it's good enough, definitely. But so yeah, we've cleaned all the outside of the van, and now it actually looks white rather than like a muddy cream.
I didn't actually realise how dirty it was.
Yeah. Because when I was washing it last night, Tabitha kept saying, "Oh, it ain't that dirty," and I was standing back and could see it, and you could just see where she'd washed and where she wouldn't very clearly, or where she hadn't washed rather. And then we came onto the inside, and we took all the panels out all the way around and the floor. And luckily, we haven't took these panels off yet. We hadn't took them off because we forgot about them. But they would be quick and easy because this was quick and easy. But yeah, so they're all off, and the inside of the van's actually pretty clean. This is just dirt down here. There's no rust or anything that we've found. These are still in. I wasn't sure whether to take these out or not, just because they're a bit of a pain to take out, and I don't know whether it's going to be worth it. It means we'll have to cut the holes back in here, but as we've got a jigsaw anyway, I don't think it's going to be too bad to do. But we'll see. We might get them out. I just need to get a torque bit for it, torque bit for it, I think it is. Take them out if we do take them out, and then it's definitely done.
The only problem we actually found on the outside of the van was this little bit of rust here, which isn't that bad.
No, all we're going to do with that is just give it a bit of rust killer and then just spray it, just to cover it up. There's a few little spots, if I can find them. There's one on the door here, and this little one here, if you get down. That little one there, that's got the paint showing, so just a little bit of paint on that, just to make sure it doesn't rust. And you've got a little bit here as well. See if I can get close. A little bit here that needs spraying as well. Yeah, but yeah, so there's a few little bits that need touching up with a bit of rust, but there's nothing major really. Well, there's nothing major at all, which is a good thing. So
a few little dints on the door.
Yeah, but dints are dints, and it's nothing major on that. We can knock them back out easy. But we don't really care about how we end up spraying the bits that need spraying, because we plan on probably wrapping the van eventually anyway. Not anytime soon, but we do plan on wrapping the van, so I don't care too much as long as it's a similar sort of colour, and it keeps it from rusting. That's all that matters.
Thanks for watching our first video diary. Stay tuned for more.